Welcome back to Chaotic Crafting. I'm Kim, and thanks for watching this new video. So I've been doing oysters lately and wanted to kind of show the process. I have over here, sort of off the camera, my UV lamp that cures UV resin. And so I just want to go through the process of a couple of these and some ideas that I have for design. You won't see me putting the oysters under that little UV lamp to get cured because I have crap everywhere. I also wanted to show you, like, I went through some old jewelry and took apart several big pearl necklaces I had. I had like a whole necklace that had these little diamonds, and I took them all apart. So I'll be decorating the shells. I kept the chain because I think I might use some of the chain in some of them. But I'll be decorating these shells with some of these embellishments of jewelry that I was kind of loading up to take to the Goodwill, and I thought, let me just see if I want to use them as decorations on my oysters. I've also bought some little seed beads that I may or may not use. This little thing of beads are flat backed, kind of look like bubbles. I thought if I do some designs that maybe with a mermaid with little bubbles coming off the top. So I just have a plethora of stuff all around me. Don't have anything in mind particularly to do, but just kind of wanted to show you the process. I actually wanted to video the process because I'm ready to put all this crap up, but I didn't want to put it up without going through some of it and making a video in case someone else is interested in doing something similar. Hopefully I'll stay in the camera the whole time, but I'm working with a small space here. With resin, you really should be using gloves, and for two reasons. One, the best way to get a good smooth layer of resin on your oysters is to just use a gloved finger. It works better. It doesn't leave brush strokes. Although resin will sort of self-level a little bit. I've tried it all. I've tried sponges, I've tried brushes, and you will ruin your brushes if you use resin on them. So I just use my finger. I like to paint with my fingers anyway. I get real into my art when I'm arting, and so I usually have paint all over me. So I enjoy painting with my fingers. So I may use Mod Podge with my fingers. I'll definitely use my gloves for the resin. So I literally just I live in Panama City Beach, and just went to Bayou at the beach. They have a mound of oysters in the back that you can just go and take a pic. I mean, it's a lot. There's a lot. And then I soak them in water and about, not really half and half Clorox, but maybe 30% Clorox. Let them soak, and then I take a brush and I scrub them out as best I can. Now, I don't sand them down. I don't get them beautiful, but I do get as good of a smooth finish as I can get. There's usually like some gunk that makes you gag, or it makes me gag every time I clean it off, like a little bit of that oyster left on it. But the ones at Bayou Beach, the good thing about them is they've been out in the sun for so long that a lot of them, you don't have to do a lot of scrubbing. A lot of them, that part is already dried up, and that oyster snotty part's already dried up and fallen off, and they're already a little bit sun bleached. So some of these I'm gonna have to start with prepping them with white paint, and I found the cheapest acrylic paint you can find works best. I've tried using gesso and chalk paint, but it lifts up a little bit when you put the Mod Podge down. And some of these I've already prepped with a white paint. Now, there's two schools out there. Some people like the black dot, some people do not. These are the prettiest oysters. Grand Marlin is a sort of higher end restaurant on the bay here, and their oysters were so pretty. I actually ate a dozen and kept the oysters myself, but I may need to call them and see if I can get some, because they're just a lot prettier than the other ones. So you'll find different ones. Like, this is a perfect little trinket for rings. You set it at your sink and let it put your rings in it when you're washing dishes or when you wash your hands. Cute little trinket dish, but as you can see, some of these are so flat that wouldn't really work. So that's gonna be more like maybe an ornament or just something to sit around. So I'm gonna start on just a couple, and I'm gonna prep a couple with the white paint, and then I'm gonna design a few and let you watch it from start to finish. And I may not even edit this video because it takes so long when I try to do that. And I know when I'm watching a craft video, I always just hit the fast forward button a million times. So, you know, I may just put this video up exactly as it is, however long it takes. And if there's pieces of it that you don't want to see, just fast forward it. You don't have to watch all of it. Of course, I do try to get the paint as smooth as I can get it. It's so there's not any wrinkles when I do the napkin later. And I have something new. I bought some rice papers. I haven't tried rice paper in an oyster yet. It may not work. Decoupage, the secrets of decoupage. And they have some beautiful rice paper designs. Of course, mermaid themed. So I bought some, and a lot of them were way bigger than I thought they'd be. So they may not fit, but some of them might. So I might try, like, you know, the rice paper bit on a couple. I always do paper napkins, but I'm gonna try to do like at least one or two of each so you sort of see the process. And I'm just gonna set this one aside because that white paint's gonna take a few minutes to dry, and then I'll finish up a couple of the other ones. First I have some already prepped over here. Already decoupaged the napkins on. Show you the difference. So this one is a napkin decoupage on the shell, and this one already has the layer of resin. And I don't know if you can tell, but that resin, I mean, here's without the resin. This is just decoupage on the bottom and on the top, and this is with. It makes it look like china or ceramic. And then we'll fancy it up a little more. This one's not quite finished, but it's closer finished than this one. So here's some of the ones I've got that I've already just put the napkin in them, and just haven't done the resin or the outline. This is using a gloss Mod Podge, so it is a little shinier, but you can see it's nothing like the resin one. So this is my preference. And really and truly, the UV resin, you don't have to mix it. It's one step. I hate resin because I can never get part A and part B epoxy. I can never get it right. It seems like it always stays sticky or it doesn't cure. But this UV resin is so easy. You pop it under the UV lamp, and especially for small projects like this, or making jewelry. Now, I have tried to use it in some big molds, and that did not work out well. So this is one that I've got the napkin on, and then I have put the gold foil. I just use like a chrome marker around the edge, and I will resin this one up too. A tattoo from, I think, the Dollar Tree. And of course, I was like, I wonder if that will work. I have tried some rub-ons that did not work because they were really thick, like a sticker. But I am gonna try a rub-on, a couple of rub-ons today too, to see if they work. But this was just a plain tattoo for the skin, and I used it in here. So I'll outline this one like in black and put some of these like black pearls on this. So something different, but let's just show you from start to finish on one of the napkins. I like using the blue and white theme for some reason, just for fun. In case you are not a crafter and you don't know, most napkins are 2-ply, some of them are 3-ply. So you have to take that clear, that blank one off and throw that away or whatever. If you're gonna use a napkin for decoupage. This is for anything, not just shells. If you're gonna decoupage a napkin, you always have to take that off because that's gonna make it bubble up and make it really hard for you to get it really smooth on your shell. So I'll do one right quick. I'm gonna go for the rice paper and see if it works. There's my rub-ons. So maybe I'm gonna see if one of those will work. But look how cute. Look at the little flamingo. So I'm gonna cut a couple of these designs out. Look at these bees. Oh. And that's dragonfly, so pretty. Mermaid. So I'm gonna cut a couple of these out and try the rice paper. All right, so, not gonna fit. I might have to use one of the bigger ones for that. Let me try this little mermaid. Oh, that'll work, should be cute. So what I'm gonna do, since it is rice paper, I'm gonna wet it first, so it'll be a little more pliable, or it'll bend a little easier. I don't know what I'm saying, you know, just so I can work with it a little better. I'm gonna wet it and then use, Mod Podge is fine. I couldn't find my Mod Podge, so I'm using this golden matte medium, as long as it's medium, matte medium. Mod Podge works. You can do PVC glue and water. I mean, you know, whatever you have, or whatever you can find, because I just couldn't find my Mod Podge today. A nice thin layer of that Mod Podge. I think I'm gonna face her maybe that way. And the good thing about this rice paper is it is stronger than a napkin. So you don't have to be as precious with it as you would, obviously, if I was pushing and pulling on a napkin like that, it would break, it would tear. I've torn many napkins trying to put them down inside of an oyster. Okay, so this Mod Podge matte medium should dry clear. And before I do another rice paper one, I'm just gonna wait and see how that looks. But she is sure cute. Mermaid kissing a turtle. Can't stand it. It's so cute. Oh, I don't have my light on. Hold on a second. Is that better? Look at that. Sometimes, y'all, I'm just an idiot. Okay, because I told you I'd show you what napkins look like. I like this. I went crazy with napkin ordering. I just looked for any blue and white napkin design, because, like I said, once you put that resin on them, that it really does kind of look like china in the end. So I'm just going to do a nice little blue and white design on this one. You do want that first layer of Mod Podge or whatever you're using to be as thin and smooth as possible. And just because I want to get as much use out of one napkin as I can, I try to kind of start the design close to the edge, and then I just sort of pat it down and try not to get any wrinkles in it. But you don't have a lot of tries with the napkin, because they are fragile. You just took that extra ply off the back, so of course it's very thin. And I'm not gentle usually, so it would not be. See, I just ripped it. Usually you can fix it, but it is just so fragile. Then I just kind of go around the edge and use the edge of that oyster to sort of help tear it. Some people measure their napkin and have it cut and ready, but usually if I try to do that first, I wind up not putting it in the same place. So this is just the easiest way for me. Plus I'm a lazy crafter. One less step. If I can just cut it out after it's on. Oh well, I've torn it again. I'm just gonna try to piece it back together. And trust me, there's been many a time when I've just had to start over. And let's do that. Let's do that now. Let me just see what it looks like when I'm done. If it's decent, I'll leave it, but I think I need to take this off. I think I've messed up too much. So, okay, that napkin didn't want to be on that oyster. We'll find something else for it to do. That's all. I've always said this about art. The reason I love it is because even when you mess up, almost everything is fixable. even when you paint. I paint every now and then, and I can't tell you how many times I've painted a canvas and hated it. So I just paint over it with gesso and paint something else on it. You can just layer it up and paint again. So that's why I like doing it, because even a failure is not really a failure, and nobody has to know how many times it took you to get something that you liked, a design you liked. Okay, Kim, don't be as rough. All right. And this is why people charge so much money for their homemade stuff. I know everybody always complains about how expensive paintings are, and maybe even oysters. I mean, I get it. This is trash that I'm putting trash on. Napkin is made to be used and thrown away. Oysters are made to be eaten and the shells thrown away. But, you know, it takes time. And y'all don't know how many failed attempts. Oh my gosh, when I first started using that resin, I kind of went crazy and bought all kind of molds. And this time I'm just gonna wet my finger because I probably still had too much Mod Podge on my finger. I'm gonna wet it and run it around the edge just so it'll be easier for me to rip that extra off. But when I first started the resin, I probably threw away more, I know I did. I threw away more failed attempts than I had successful pretty things to keep. I mean, it was the most frustrating, but that's how you learn. I mean, I'm like, well, that didn't work. I won't try that again. So it's all, it's like, I don't know who said it, but somebody said, you either are successful or you learned a lesson. There's, you know, it's not like you failed, you learned what not to do. And sometimes I have to learn what not to do many times because I didn't get it the first time. All right, so this is decent. I'll let this dry and literally fingernail emery board just to kind of take those edges off. You can use a big fancy sanding block. You can buy a crafting block. You can go to Lowe's and get a hand sander. I use a fingernail file because that's what I have lying around my house. All right, so that one is done. Now I'm going, oh, see, there's a rip in it right there, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I am gonna put a thin layer of Mod Podge over the top just to seal that napkin on there good. And I'm gonna be really extra careful with this part because I don't want to rip it. Because that one actually laid down pretty good and I like where the design landed. It's another thing about using a gloved finger is I can tell how much pressure I'm using, and with a brush that's not always the case. Okay, so she's ready to dry and we'll decorate her out later. This first oyster that we painted, almost dry. Acrylic paint doesn't take long to dry at all, so that's another reason why I like to use just cheap acrylic paint when I'm prepping these. Oh, and I was gonna try this. So I bought this ages ago. It's an iridescent medium, and so you can basically add it to any paint and give it that iridescent shine. I don't know if you can tell on this one. I painted the inside of this shell with the Nouveau Crystal Drops, which is kind of a, look, the name of it's Ivory Seashell. So how could I not? It's kind of a, not a glitter, but a shimmer. And I thought that was pretty. And I thought about, because I have seen some people who just design the oyster without the white, leaving it, you know, with the black dot in its true form. So I'm gonna do one with just this iridescent in it. Ooh, that was probably way too much. All right, we'll set that aside to dry. All right, let's resin some stuff. Where did I put oh, there they are. These, I mean, I worked on these days ago, so these are well past dry and ready for resin. Resin is nasty, sticky, nasty stuff, y'all. Let me just tell you. If you've never worked with it, oh my God, it just gets everywhere. All right, less is more. I'm just gonna squeeze some in the middle and then pull it, draw it out. I guess y'all can see that pretty good. And I like to go right around the edge to make sure that napkin's sealed in with this resin, because, oh, this resin's way stronger than Mod Podge or matte medium ever thought to be. So I like to make sure this design isn't going anywhere. And you just want to smooth it out as best you can. And don't overwork it. And now I'm gonna pop this one over here in my oven and let it be curing. I do it for like 120 seconds just because I have that setting on my resin lamp, so why not? It may only need 90 seconds, I don't know. And I'm not sure, but I'm kind of sure. Like I think I bought my resin lamp at Let's Resin, this brand. But I'm pretty sure it's the same thing as like gel polish UV lamp. So if you've got a fingernail polish lamp already, I think it would probably work the same. I mean, a UV lamp is a UV lamp, right? Oh, I got to tell y'all this. I decided I was going to drill some holes in them, and probably if you're going to drill a hole in it because you want to add something, you should do it before you resin, because the resin does make it really, really like a hard finish. My goodness, I'm making a mess already. But it took me forever. I got like a little tiny drill. It's almost like a nail drill. It took me forever to drill holes in like 3. This one of the ones I drilled a hole in. Can you see right there? A little tiny hole. Because I was thinking I could hang some chain, and I'll try it with this one. This will be my guinea pig one. I was gonna see maybe it'd be cute if there's like some shells and some trinkets hanging off of these. So I may do that. But man, I only put a hole in about 3 or 4. I've heard people say you really you need a drill press. And it's one of those things where you would need a big tabletop drill press and you would just drill oysters the whole time. Well, I'm in a 900 square foot 1-bedroom apartment. I barely have room for what I've already got in here, so that's not an option for me. But I may see when my stepdad and mom are coming to visit soon, I may see if he can help me maybe use the real drill, maybe get a box or some wood to drill it through. I don't know, but it was a pain in the rear. So now I'm gonna also see what if I could just resin it instead of drilling a hole and putting the chain from the hole. Can I just glue with resin the chain with the trinkets onto it? Because the resin will kind of act like glue as well. All right, so we've got 4 cooking. The one that's already been resined, I'm gonna decorate it with you guys on the camera so you can kind of see what I do, what's in my mind to do. I told you about the jewelry that I took apart. I had this really beautiful necklace that broke, but it was kind of like this drapey rhinestone stuff, and instead of throwing it out, I was trying to fix it and I couldn't fix it. So instead of throwing it out, I'm going to use this rhinestone, pretty glitter, and sort of line it around the oyster. Now first I have to make sure I've got this piece is enough, because this is a pretty big oyster. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, that one will work. Okay. Now that's when this is when sort of the flashlight, the UV flashlight comes in handy. All right. There's no easy way to do this, so bear with me. And you want to know why people charge for handmade crafts. Mother, father, oh my gosh. Watch me glue it to my finger. I should probably use like E8000 or B8000 or E6000 or whatever, instead of trying it like this, but I've done several already and it worked, and it's not going to work with y'all watching me, I guess. My goodness, this is making me want to cuss. Okay. Nothing's easy. Nothing is ever easy. But I also am real picky about it. I really want it to do the exact shape of the oyster, because I like the little grooves. And patience is a virtue. Oh, I would definitely be fast forwarding past this part if I were you. I think what I'll do is keep this whole long video up, but then also do like maybe a short reel and showing the process. once I get it to at least halfway, almost stick, I'll pop it under the big lamp. Oh, to be sure it cures, but this has just been the way I've done it. Man, that's not working at all. Let me hit that with a little more UV. I've been playing around with the idea of trying to sell some of these. I mean, I don't know. Every time I've tried to sell something I made, I've never been successful at it. But as you can see, I would not sell them for cheap because this is one shell. And you see how much trouble, how long it takes to put these intricate details on there. I mean, I'd probably, maybe like 30 bucks or something, 25, 30 bucks. Because it ain't nothing. Now, putting the napkins on, that's easy enough, but when I go through and do like this extra stuff, it's a pain in the rear, which I don't really have a crap that's not a pain in the rear, really. Even painting, I enjoy painting, but you know, getting it out, setting it up, making a mess. And then usually when I'm through, I don't want to clean up because I think, well, I might want to paint tomorrow, and I don't want to have to clean it all up and then get it all back out again. But then tomorrow I don't want to paint, so it stays on my bar forever, and I mean like forever. And then finally I'm like today. This stuff has been sitting here because I've been wanting to do this, but not doing it. And today I'm like, okay, I'm gonna finish the oyster project so I can put it up, because I've got to put this away. It's taking up too much of my space. Come on, cure a little, please. I'm so impatient. I don't know why. Well, Kim, you should have cut that. I make it so hard for me. I'm hoping I can just dangle it and it'll, probably won't. Let's see. Oh, you piece of crap. Come on, break already. Well, these wire cutters are not cutting. There, maybe. There, finally, shoot. Again, why was that so much trouble? Okay. Perfecto. Perfect. Let me just kind of. Isn't that pretty? We got a little rhinestone bling around. And I left this piece here on purpose because I'm going to pop, what did I do with that? Pop one of those, here it is. this necklace. And I love it because it's blingy and it has a pearl in it. But I had one popped off already. What did I do with that? Chaotic Crafting. You know where I get my name? Yo. I just had it. Now I'm just trying to open up this little O-ring. Here we go. So I can take one of these links off of this necklace. All right, this is gonna take a while to set, but I'm still gonna do it. I'm still going to do it. And then I'll put it in the UV lamp for a little while. Now see. Oh. All right, come on, cure up. Oh, she's so cute. Now see, that's a cute little trinket to hold your rings while you wash dishes or whatever. Ah, get back up here. I will say this about the UV resin that I've learned. You know, most resin takes 24 to 48 hours to cure. If this one hasn't cured all the way in the UV lamp, it doesn't cure. Time won't make it cure. Like it won't cure just because it's been 3 days. I mean, it has to cure in the UV lamp. I've even had some stuff that cured, but I don't know. It's like a few days later, I thought it was cured, but a few days later it was leaking or something. I don't know. And then I usually just test the tackiness. These are the ones that we had baking earlier. And I just test it to see if it's still sticky. If it's not, then they're done. Look how much better. Isn't this so pretty? All right, come on. I need you to get cured up. So these are ready for their crowning decorations. I did not put silver on that one. And for me, I like the silver with the blue and the white. But I do like a gold rimmed one as well. And I also wanted to, let's do this right quick. Let's do a smaller one. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have my hair in all these things because once you get a hair stuck on your finger with resin, good luck with that. Just resin a plain one. Now I told you I'm playing around with the idea of selling these, but in all actuality, I'm probably not gonna ever try to sell them, which leads me to then what the crap are you doing them for? When it's just for mental health, just to get my mind off stress and stuff that's going on in my world. But probably if you're one of those people who go crazy over bubbles, you can hit this with a lighter or a torch or something and the bubbles in this resin can come out. I had a little extra from that one, so I thought I'll smear it in this little shell. This is the one that I sealed up with just like a varnish gloss to see if it looked as good, because that was certainly easier, but it did not look as good. So, and you can even tell right there that that napkin's ripped in the middle. So that's, you know, a little bit of a fail on a shell, but oh well. Put that one in the oven. And I don't know how I feel about this rice paper. Let me just resin it up and see what happens. But I think she looks a little fuzzy or blurry or something. I don't know. So that might not, oops, that might not. So I'm not gonna do a whole bunch of rice paper ones if I don't know if it's gonna work. I may just do, oh, I want this one to be curing as well. See, that's so pretty. Doesn't that kind of look like China? It's crazy. It's just cray-cray. Difference. And I think maybe I'm just gonna put a pearl maybe on it. Now on adding the pearls, you saw how I struggled with the rhinestones. So usually when I add the pearl, I'll use a tacky glue first, which this is Barely Art. And usually it grabs pretty quick, so I'm gonna try to glue it in place with glue. And then add some resin sort of under it, so it won't be a roly-poly content. Yeah, that's better. All right, so this one is cured, set up, done. I'm gonna use this one. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, why would you put a shell on a shell? So I don't think I think I'll use this instead. This is a much lighter blue, but it might be too big. The print might be too big. What if I just did that one gigantic rose? That's not a rose. That one gigantic rose right there. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so I'm back to the mudgy pudgy. Well, okay. Then we'll resin that up. Let me just do a couple of more shells like that. And it's already been an hour. And like, seriously, I feel like we just got started. I've not completed, but what, one? Maybe two. Maybe 2 or 3 that I've done start to finish. And it's already been an hour. I'm going to have to do the bee. Let me cut him out a little bit better. He's so cute. Oh my gosh, you know what? I've got some gears, some little gears I could decorate. All right, let me do this. This is that rice paper that the jury's still out on whether or not I like the way they look. But I don't mind putting it on the shell as much as not wanting to use the oyster until I know for sure that it looks all right. Now that's cute. While I'm doing, won't fit on that one. Do I have a bigger shell in here? It's kind of close. Close enough. It's so much thicker than a napkin, which is good because it's not as fragile, but it's also not as easy to manipulate into the nooks and crannies. I'll just have to trim that off later. I could have done a better job centering that. Oh my goodness, Kim. I'm getting on my own nerves. I know I'm getting on yours. Okay, let's just see if I could start from the top, maybe. It still doesn't look centered. I think her neck's crooked. Maybe her neck's not in the center. I don't know. I feel like I rubbed the design off of that. I obviously do not know what I'm doing here. All right, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Okay, let's look at this. What do we think? Maybe if I had her kissing the turtle more in the center, I'd like it better. Let me try that. Oh, I also have, let me try this one. On an oyster. Maybe on that oyster. Water. Where's my water? Where did my water go? It gone. Oh no, there it is. Stop it. Just so I can get it to, I don't know, y'all. We'll try it. I don't know. I don't think I like it. Okay, well, before I was so rudely interrupted by my battery dying in my phone, I was trying to do this, and I hate it. So, bye-bye. Okay, so I think the conclusion is rice paper is not good for oysters and shells, which makes me sad. Because, like I said, I found some really pretty ones. Maybe it won't be so bad on that shell. So here is one of the shells we finished up today. And there's that iridescent paint. I think I'm going to outline this one in gold. Oops, I didn't shake it. of fact, I'm gonna do something different. Hold on, easier. So this is a gold ink. I don't know what that says, or I'd tell you what the name of it is. Anyway, you gotta shake it up. Since this oyster is so big and has like a pretty big edge on it, I'm going to use this instead of the marker. If I can get it open. Because, like I said, I told you earlier, I kind of like using my fingers and stuff. So this will go a lot faster. And maybe, like, no, I don't like that. Maybe a big, you know what? I might put this there, since I left that kind of plain. What do we think? And it's definitely gold instead of silver. Yeah, why not? Why not? Dadgum, I'm running out of room to stick stuff. Okay, I'm just gonna take that little circle off. Anyway, close enough. Before I call it quits on the rice paper, let me try not putting Mod Podge on top of it and see if that helps. Without Mod Podging on top, because look, I think when I Mod Podged it on top, like, it lost some of the vibrancy. So let me just see if I can go straight into resin without it getting messed up. That looks like that might turn out cute. See, I told you, it's all a learning curve. I almost just gave up resin. I almost just gave up on the rice paper. But when I did it without Mod Podging on top, it turned out okay. And she's cute. All right. Oh, so it does work. You just can't put Mod Podge on the top. I guess you just can't work it too much, or you basically kind of ruin it. All right, so we have another finished one. She's cute. I'll probably do a little bit more gold around that edge so it shows up a little better. But okay, that's not cured because it's real sticky, but that did wind up looking better, and I think that'd be pretty with a gold outline, and maybe just a whittle pearl at the bottom. Might be right there. All right, I'm gonna cure this up. I'm gonna keep working on a few things, but I will call this a day of video is done. I will, so you've seen the oyster, prepping it with white paint. You've seen the resin. I think I'm gonna do like some gold leafing on this one, actual gold leafing and not just the paint, and then outline it. I kind of like it plain and just, the black dot and all. That's not bad. Let me put her in a shell. Yeah, that'd be cute. I'll do one more for you because I know you're dying to see one more. You're like, oh, Kim, if I could just see one more. Sarcasm. That was sarcasm. It has been fun, but my goodness, I've been doing this for like 2 hours already. So it's definitely not a quick fix. And I think what I'm gonna do, I mean, that's boring. It's just me pouring resin in a mold and sticking it under the lamp. So I think she's cute. Okay, so I was on the fence about the rice paper and I'm back convinced it will work. You can't monkey with it too much. So we did our little 3 pearls and the silver lining on that. We did the resin and the rhinestone and the blingy on that. We finished the blingy on this one with the rhinestones. What else did we do? We finished the blingy on this one. And outlined that with silver. Did the resin. This is the one that I drilled the hole in and was thinking about having a little tassel of shells hanging from that hole. I think that'd be cute. That's gonna be me pulling out wires and my shells that, I bought on TEMU. On TEMU, I bought this necklace and it's kind of gaudy and I probably would never wear it, but I bought it to use like all this fake stuff. I mean, these plastic, these aren't real shell. But, so go through your jewelry if you're a crafter. I know you probably have already thought of that, but if you haven't thought of it, yeah, go through your jewelry and see if there's some stuff you can grab and use to decorate. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Thanks so much for watching Chaotic Crafting. I may hit up some finished projects and just put them as some pictures at the end of this video, just so you can see, like adding the tassel to that one and some of the shells that I did with the rice paper. But for now, we'll call it a day. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye. Okay, so I thought this would be easier than trying to show you. I'll take pictures. So this is the one I put the charms on. There's the gold. Another just silver outlined. This napkin, put a little, I don't know if you can see a little fish locket up on the top charm thing. Rhinestone napkin. This one I just put glitter around the edges, don't love it. Another just napkin with silver chrome pin outline. This one, little seahorse charm that I did real gold leaf on. This is the one I left plain, and I wound up putting more gold leaf than I wanted, but still cute. Here's one of my mermaid girls. This was a necklace that had broken, and so I just used pieces of it. Another mermaid girl. Skeleton. I like 4 skeletons that I decided to use just because not everybody likes mermaids and pretty things. I think he's my favorite, the roses mermaid. That epoxy is certainly glaring, but mermaid kissing the turtle, mermaid high-fiving the turtle, maybe. Some of them I have glitter on, some of them I do not. Mermaid with another piece of that same necklace that broke. The flamingo one. Mermaid with a little necklace piece on it. This one was a dragonfly. And these, oh well, let me finish the mermaid one. So this is just a napkin with a rose that I did rhinestones. More mermaid. Mermaid that I outlined in blue. Added some shells too. Another shell with just a trinket from a necklace. Dragonfly. And these are probably my favorite. So this is like some steampunk. They're not really steampunk, but they had like a metallic looking arms and legs. So I used some of my steampunk gears to decorate those with. And just the gold leaf pin. And this is probably my favorite one. Don't know why. I like that one too. I think I did about 6 of these. I did them till I just ran out of shells. So. And then that was the one I used, the tattoo. It was just a hand tattoo, and I put that in the oysters. So looking at the whole collection, I think I made about 36, 40, something like that. And it was fun. So thanks for watching.